Hey there folks, it's me TheTacticalBrit, and EA Play is nearly upon us, and as you're probably watching this video now, I'm likely on a flight there as it presently stands. I've been very fortunate to be sent out to EA Play by the guys over at EA to see what's happening with Battlefield 5. But today I thought I'd bring you some news and predictions, mostly around some comments made on Reddit, as well as some interesting information and screenshots that have surfaced in the run-up to EA Play. Now, I'm led to believe that EA Play is going to be a huge turning point for Battlefield 5 as a franchise for a number of reasons, and I'm really interested to see what comes out of EA Play. Now, first of all, I think it's really worth noting that they wouldn't be hosting a press conference for something like Battlefield, which is one of the few games scheduled at EA, without some kind of reason. We've reached a point by now where Star Wars Battlefront 2 and of course Battlefield 5 are in very similar situations in terms of the live services they're providing and the fact that they've also been outputting content over time. But the fact that there has been announcements already for Battlefield just kind of goes to prove that perhaps there's more to show than what we already know. Because if it was the case that we were just going to see things like what has already been announced, like the Pacific Theater, then there's really just no point of paying for an entire press conference to get that message across, because the core engagement of player base would already know that that is a thing. So if it really were the case that we were just going to see the same thing over and over again, like Chapter 5 and Pacific Theaters and stuff like that, it would just be a trailer. There would be no need to do a conference. And I have some ideas and evidence to back up this claim that we're going to be seeing some more things coming. Now, for starters, there's been lots of Reddit comments from community managers and people involved at DICE that keep saying, look out for EA Play, we have stuff to announce. And it's kind of almost become this sort of idea or overarching theme that there will be something at EA Play for people to look forward to beyond just Mercury, because of course Mercury has been the only map that has been announced for June and May, and it could be a very long time before we see some more. And I don't believe that is the case. I honestly do think that DICE have been plugging away and working on some other maps in behind the scenes. And the reason I say this is because there has been a lot of rumours floating around that a vast majority of the DICE Stockholm team are now working on the live service for Battlefield 5 as opposed to working on anything else. So that is something that could potentially be giving life to these rumours about lots of new content coming. But here's the big one, and here is the huge one that has been revealed that definitely shows us that there is something huge coming for Battlefield 5, and that is this little screenshot from YouTube from the official Battlefield channel. And it says, live in 18 days on the 9th of June at 7:30 over in Netherlands, which is a screenshot from Danny on PC, that Battlefield will be revealing new maps gameplay reveal live at EA Play. And there is some very specific and important wording around this that a lot of people need to understand. Now, if this was going to be the Pacific Theater, and this is going to be the maps that we already would have seen, it would have been called that. It would have been called the next chapter, and it would have said, this is this chapter's reveal. But instead, it says new maps gameplay reveal and doesn't specify a chapter or any other content. So instead, it implies that we're going to be seeing new maps that haven't even been announced yet publicly to the open eye or on Twitter or on Reddit. Now, in terms of preparation for events, you'll see lots of companies preparing and registering live streams on YouTube, Facebook, and every social media platform they can possibly fathom. But they have to be labelled and named correctly and accordingly in order to output the right information. DICE and EA are very aware that people are looking forward to the Pacific Theater, which is releasing, I believe, somewhere in September, but there would be no reason not to label this livestream Pacific Theater or label it the chapter that is coming up. It just doesn't make sense. It makes absolutely no sense not to label it that, so this leads me to believe that we're going to see brand new maps at EA Play. Now, this is backed up by something that has been coming and slowly generating on Reddit from Temporal, who is a data miner for Battlefield 5. Now, it's worth noting that data mining is often when new and old files are sort of put in the game, some of which are important, most of which are just old code or things that haven't been utilized. But there's been so many things slowly seeping into the game, and if you look at Temporal's Reddit account, which I'll link in the description below, you can see that they're adding all kinds of weapons and cosmetics from various different factions, and almost as though they're gearing up for something that they haven't revealed to the public yet. And just scrolling through his Reddit account, you can see everything from motorcycles to dive bombers, to things like Soviet LMGs and Swiss sniper rifles, Japanese weapons, American weapons, even things like unused in-game models that presently stand. And I think some of the most important ones have been references to the new 5v5 mode, which is being developed by Dice LA. So we could be seeing the 5v5 mode, multiple different maps, and just loads and loads of content potentially being revealed at EA Play. Now, if you're a game like Battlefield, just from a marketing standpoint, just thinking about this from a game that seemingly has been struggling lately, and there's no denying that, because we've seen at the moment there are issues such as the fact that, you know, matchmaking has gone downhill, there are less players playing Firestorm, things are looking quite tricky at the moment. And if you're a game like Battlefield, you're sat there in EA Play. Loads of people watch EA Play, and all of these people will watch it regardless of if they're interested in Battlefield, but just because they're interested in EA games as a whole. And, you know, the media attention at these conferences is huge, which is exactly why EA decided to make EA Play and avoid E3, so they could get their gunshot out in the dark before anybody else. So if you're a game that's had a relatively difficult launch, you seemingly have had issues with player counts recently, and you have announced free DLC, which is something I'm sure lots of fans are looking forward to, then surely it makes sense, whilst the world is watching you at EA Play, to almost do a kind of semi-soft relaunch of the game. Not in the sense that, like, they're going to repackage it and rename it, but if you go to the entire audience at EA Play, just a few things as some ideas. By the way, Firestorm is now free to play. Here's a 5v5 mode that's coming out with 2 new locations. Here's multiple maps we're releasing. Here's loads of weapons and other stuff that we're releasing. Oh, by the way, did we tell you that we had USA and Japan coming this September? And also, maybe we'll announce or slyly announce another chapter afterwards that's a little bit more low-key. That would be huge. That would be insane. Like, loads of people would look at that and go, shit man, I should probably give Battlefield 5 a go. Or maybe I should pick up the game and give it a try again. And all of those people who haven't seen things improve over time in the new map, like Mercury, will come back to the game and go, yeah, might give this a try. And if these contents release relatively soon, like July, August for example, then I think they could actually bring a big revival to the game. Because at the moment in Battlefield, let's be honest, there are some issues with matchmaking and some issues with server-side and in-game stuttering, but once those are removed from the game, alongside the odd little bug here and there, it's actually in a really good place for new content. And that new content, which is free, piled upon perhaps a release of a new game or game title like Battlefield 5, I don't know, something edition that will cost people £30 or whatever, with a free-to-play Firestorm mode, could really very much so revive Battlefield and bring Battlefield 5 a good life cycle until the next game, which looks like it might be Bad Company 3. So folks, that's it from me today, TheTacticalBrit. Make sure you hit that notification bell and make sure you're subscribed to all the content, because I will be bringing you a comprehensive breakdown of everything coming to EA Play for Battlefield. I will be there for the whole entirety of EA Play, producing Battlefield content and releasing it on a day-by-day basis as much as I humanly possibly can. As always folks, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you again soon in another video.